Right now, the Met Office describes conditions across much of England and Wales as staying hot before a weak cold front pushes cooler, cloudier air in from the northwest. In London, temperatures are already close to 29 degrees Celsius under a bright blue sky, with strong sunshine driving the UV index into the high range. This heat is being fed by a persistent high-pressure system situated over the southern UK, which draws warm air up from the continent and suppresses cloud formation. Because the atmosphere is stable and the pressure gradient is light, the approaching front lacks the strength to produce widespread rain. Instead, it will gradually increase cloud cover and bring only isolated showers later today. For anyone outdoors right now, the immediate advice is to seek shade, drink water regularly and apply sunscreen, as the combination of high temperature and strong solar radiation can lead to rapid dehydration and sunburn if precautions are not taken. As the weak front moves southeast, the weather will begin to change noticeably during the afternoon. Cloud thickness will increase over northern England and the Midlands, bringing cooler air that reduces temperatures by a few degrees compared with the morning peak. The Met Office expects isolated afternoon showers, most likely over higher ground such as the Pennines, where uplift from the front triggers condensation and brief rain showers. In London and the southeast, the sky may turn partly cloudy, but the chance of rain remains low, so temperatures will stay in the mid-20s rather than climbing back to the high 20s. This shift means that while the heat will not disappear instantly, the discomfort of direct sun will ease for those who can wait for the cloudier period. Travelers should keep an eye on live radar updates, as isolated showers can affect road visibility and make railway signalling more challenging in localized areas. The heat gripping the UK today is not a random spike, it is the fifth heatwave of the summer, a pattern highlighted in recent news reports. Earlier in the week, temperatures in parts of the Midlands exceeded 32 degrees Celsius, leading to speed restrictions and occasional suspensions on East Midlands railways as rails expanded under the heat. A large, stationary high-pressure system over the Atlantic has been steering warm, dry air from the south over the British Isles, suppressing cloud formation and allowing solar energy to heat the ground unimpeded. This setup is reinforced by a weak jet stream that fails to usher in cooler Atlantic systems, creating a blocking pattern that prolongs the warm spell. The consequence is not just discomfort but real stress on infrastructure. Rails can buckle, road surfaces can soften, and energy demand spikes as fans and air conditioning units run longer. Understanding this build-up helps explain why authorities are issuing heat health alerts and why travel operators are advising passengers to check for service changes before setting out. The Met Office characterizes the approaching system as a weak cold front, which means it brings only a modest change in temperature and moisture. Originating from the northwest, the front is associated with a slight trough in the pressure field, but the temperature contrast between the air masses is small, so the front lacks the vigor to generate widespread precipitation or strong winds. As it moves across the UK, it will lift the warm, moist air just enough to produce scattered clouds and isolated showers, particularly over upland areas where the lift is strongest. The effect will be most noticeable in the late afternoon and early evening, when cloud base is lower and the chance of drizzle increases in places like Lancashire and Cumbria. For most of the southeast, including London, the front will simply replace some of the bright sunshine with a veil of high-level cloud, lowering the UV index slightly and offering a modest respite from the peak heat without delivering a dramatic cool-down. Heat has tangible effects on travel infrastructure that are already visible today. On the East Midlands line, rail operators have imposed speed limits and, in some cases, suspended services because the steel rails expand in the heat, increasing the risk of buckling or misalignment. Road surfaces, particularly those made of bitumen, can soften under sustained high temperatures, making them more prone to rutting from heavy vehicles and reducing tyre grip. At London Heathrow, the flight outlook remains favourable. Clear skies, light winds, and a temperature of 29 degrees Celsius create good conditions for takeoff and landing, though aircraft performance calculations still need to account for the reduced air density at higher temperatures. For drivers, the advice is to check tyre pressure, carry extra water and allow additional journey time in case of temporary speed restrictions or localised flooding from isolated showers. Rail passengers should consult National Rail inquiries for real-time updates and consider alternative routes if their usual service is affected. Staying healthy during a heatwave requires deliberate actions that go beyond simply feeling uncomfortable. The body loses water and salts through sweat, and if these are not replaced, dehydration can set in quickly, leading to headaches, dizziness and, in severe cases, heat exhaustion or heat stroke. The UV index is currently high, meaning unprotected skin can burn within minutes, increasing the long-term risk of skin cancer. Health experts recommend drinking small amounts of water frequently rather than waiting until thirsty, applying a broad-spectrum sunscreen with at least SPF 30 and reapplying every 2 hours, and limiting strenuous outdoor activity to the cooler periods before 10 am or after 6 p.m. Wearing lightweight, light-colored clothing and a wide-brimmed hat also helps reflect solar radiation. Vulnerable groups such as the elderly, young children and those with chronic illnesses should be checked on regularly, and indoor attractions like museums, galleries or shopping centers provide a cool refuge while still offering entertainment and culture. Looking ahead to tonight and Saturday, the Met Office predicts a gradual easing of the heat as the weak front continues its southeastward passage. In the northwest, temperatures are expected to drop into the low teens Celsius, with a chance of rain that could bring refreshing showers to areas such as Greater Manchester and West Yorkshire. London and the southeast will see a slight dip, with highs likely settling around 24 to 26 degrees Celsius and nighttime lows remaining in the mid-teens, making evening walks more comfortable. The chance of isolated showers persists into Saturday, especially over higher ground, but the overall trend is toward less intense sunshine and a lower UV index. This shift means that outdoor plans made for the early evening or early morning hours are more likely to succeed, while midday activities may still require heat precautions. Travelers should still verify any service updates, as isolated rain can affect railway signaling and road conditions in localized spots. To make the most of today's weather, start by checking the latest Met Office alerts for any changes in heat warnings or rain forecasts. Keep a bottle of water with you and sip regularly, apply sunscreen before heading out and reapply as needed. If you plan to travel, verify train times on national rail inquiries, allow extra minutes for possible speed restrictions and consider indoor alternatives such as museums or galleries should the heat become too intense. Remember that the weak cold front will bring cloudier skies and a slight temperature drop later today, offering a natural break from the peak heat without the need for drastic changes. By staying informed, hydrated and flexible, you can enjoy your day safely and comfortably. If you found this guide useful, watch until the end for a quick checklist you can apply right now, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily UK weather and travel advice.